Hello everyone, Pastor Phil here, and I wanted to talk to you for a minute about our Forward campaign. Our Forward campaign is a 3-year campaign starting in the fall of 2023 all the way to the spring of 2026. And in this campaign, we're believing God to accomplish 3 things. We're trying to send a family from Auburn Grace to the mission field. We're trying to plant a church somewhere in the world, and we're trying to build out Grace Park and its ministries. I'm thrilled to be here today with our dear friend Bishop Abel from Kenya, Africa, and he is the church plant for the Forward campaign. So we're excited to have you here. We've known each other for a long time. We call each other brothers from a different mother, and we met in the early 2000s in Kenya and have been dear friends since. Now, tell us about your family, Abel.
My names are Abel Oyaro, and I'm married. I have a family. I have 3 children, biological, and 1 adopted. So actually, I have 2 sons and 2 daughters, and we are serving God, and we thank God for the grace of ministry.
Yes, and so we helped Bishop Abel plant a church in Nairobi about a decade ago, and that church has been going very well. In fact, you've turned it over to your leadership team.
Yes.
And it's going well.
Yes.
And now you're moving a couple of hours to the northeast.
Yes.
And it's in the town of Naivasha. Tell us about Naivasha. What kind of town is it?
Naivasha is a cosmopolitan city, actually an attraction of tourists. But what actually led us to go there, I met some of my students that I've been teaching in the Bible school who are working there, and they invited me, and I saw an opportunity of planting a church there. And it's a good place, and we thank God for the property that was purchased recently, and now we are trusting God to put up a building and have church service going on, and the church, I believe, is going to grow.
Yeah, so some of your contacts from students,
yes,
you investigated,
yeah,
believe it's a ripe place to start a church, and so you picked Naivasha.
Yes.
The town of how large? How many people do you think?
Population-wise, I think it's almost, I'm not accurate in this, but it's almost 350,000.
Yeah, so it's a large city, like a metropolitan, like you said. So, so you're able to get some property. Auburn Grace helped you be able to get some property. You now have a leader. What's his name? What's the pastor's name there?
He is Pastor John Etabo.
John Etabo.
Yes.
And so you've been working with Pastor John, and you have a good core group of people there. How long have you actually been meeting as a small congregation?
We began last year, and now it's almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're seeing good response from the community and people coming?
People are coming.
Yes.
And we thank God for the presence of the people there.
Yeah, and your prior location was being rented, and the landlord said he wanted to do something different, so he asked you to move.
Exactly.
And the Lord opened the door for us to get this property, and now we're looking to build the first shelter, or the first church structure there. On the property. That's the next goal.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we're excited to help with that. You know, the process in Kenya is you buy some property, you put up a structure, kind of a temporary structure for 4 or 5 years as the church gets its footing and it grows, and then the church is able to actually build a permanent building someday as the Lord opens that door.
You're right.
But we're gonna help with the structure. We're gonna get some toilets there called chos, so they don't have to go to the neighbor and ask to use the restroom.
Yeah.
We're going to try and bring electricity to the property and water to the property so that the church can really have a strong foundation and get off the ground going. So we're excited to be a part of that as well.
We are equally excited and grateful.
Yeah, and we want to support Pastor John a little bit there as far as getting him the resources that he needs, and we're excited to see what God does. What's your expectation for the church? Where do you see it in maybe 5 years from now? What do you expect to happen there in Naivasha?
In the next 5 years, I trust God that we will be having our own building, and we are planning to reach also out to the community by having a preschool in the property so that we are able to minister to them. And I'm trusting God that things are going to move very smoothly, and graciously the church is going to grow.
Yeah, that's great. So in the next 3 to 4 years, We're praying that God will not only establish the church in the community, but a preschool will be going there.
Yes.
And the Lord will open up a door maybe for having your own permanent building.
Amen.
If we compare it to Nairobi church that you just turned over, is the process about the same? Like the church in Nairobi has now its own building, permanent building,
Yes.
permanent structure. And so we're expecting the same kind of thing?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The process is the same.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And when you're in Naivasha, how do you attract people to invite them to the church? How does that happen there?
We have what we call open air meetings or crusades. We hire a PA system, and then we have an outdoor meeting where we bring music, and then a preacher stands to preach on the street, and the people get to come, and from there we invite them to come to the church.
Okay.
Then we also do house to house, door to door visitation, and then we invite people to come.
And it's an effective way in Kenya.
Very, very effective. Yeah.
So we're excited to be partnering again with Abel, the second church that we're working with him. The first was very successful. So we're excited that Auburn Grace is able to partner. Keep praying for Abel. Keep helping him as you can. But we're excited that this is the official church launch of our Forward campaign, and we're excited to see what God does. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
today.
you.
And the Lord bless you. We'll
God
talk
bless
to you
you
soon.
too. God bless you too. Thank you so much.